With this story, I got to give a couple of disclaimers because I don't want to shock you guys with the content, but we are going to give out a little bit of information, a little bit of detail as to what this idiot that you guys see on my screen is accused of doing. But before I get into the details about what he did, or before I be too disparaging, I don't want to shock you with my type of content. So let me give you a disclaimer before we do so. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. All right, and I need to give another disclaimer just because I guess the content could be viewed as shocking, but the following video contains material or information, is really just information, that could be traumatizing to some audiences. There's your disclaimer. I think I've done a good job with that, and I hope YouTube appreciates that. Don't demonetize my content, please, 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 please. Now, I'm getting this story from khou.com. Thank you for the article. This is coming out of Houston. And a Houston pastor, church, yet again, another pastor, is accused of raping a family member hundreds of times, beginning when she was just 7 years old. And this man somehow is alive to face a judge and face the judge on Tuesday. Robert L. Carter, 39 years old, is charged with continuous sexual assault of a child, which will make him a pedophile and a hebephile. It will make him both. According to court documents, the attacks started when the victim was just a little girl. She told police that Carter would tell her, "If you do this for me, I'll give you candy." Too often, people in position of power abuse and take advantage of people that trust them, which is why I tell y'all that are parents, don't leave your children around these teachers or police officers or people at the church, counselors. None of them. Don't leave your kids around any of them, male or female. I don't care how much you trust them. I don't care how much the Lord Jesus that they be praising and having their Bibles and Catholic prayers and all this other bull crap. And I need to purge your soul to make sure that you don't make it to hell, and make sure you can make it and have your name in the book of life. And when you go to meet God and all of that stuff, right? These same people that allegedly preaching the word is out here raping your kids, sexually abusing your kids. Just like Usher said, the Catholic Church, they got it bad, but apparently, I'm assuming this is black church, so they're probably Baptist people. Apparently, they got it bad too. The victim told investigators that Carter, and you got to ask, where the freak? God, I want to cuss so bad. Oh my God. Where are the parents at? Kidding me? I want y'all to hear how many opportunities through this time period. I think it's about a 10-year time period. This alleged family member, I want y'all to hear how many opportunities he had to take advantage of this girl. The victim told investigators that Carter would go into her room nightly, force her to perform sex acts, and warn her not to tell anyone. No one will believe you, and if you do tell, I'll tell them that you came to me and did this, Carter allegedly told her. Court records say the assaults escalated and she was raped at least 600 times. Do I even need to read any more of the article? Because there is a little bit more to read. There's more to talk about. I am absolutely going to cast very strong accusations against the biological parents in this situation. How on God's green earth, if you tell us that you care about your child, does any human being get a chance and have opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, year after year after year, to the tune of 600? You wouldn't have had 6 seconds, 6 minutes, 6 days, 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 years, 600 opportunities to sexually assault a child, and the parents are claiming to be parents of this girl? Huh. Please tell me, chat, am I crazy for thinking that something is wrong here? That I think that these parents should probably be charged too. The fact that you missed it not 6 times, not 60 times, not 100 times, not 2 or 3 or 400 times. You missed a person abusing your child. Come on, man. Really? Now that makes me believe that the parents knew this was going on and they didn't give a fuck. Sorry, I gotta cuss now. Sorry. If we not grown and we can't handle cuss words, you ain't never heard a cuss word, I don't know what we're doing. ESPN got Pat McAfee on live TV and on ESPN cussing up a storm, dropping all kind of F-bombs, and they don't get demonetized. I'm hoping I don't either, right? How is it possible for a parent to miss this to the tune of 600 times over the course of 10 years? How? But ladies and gentlemen, it's about to get worse. Court records say that the assaults escalated and this girl was raped at least 600 times. The assaults happened at the family's home in Sugar Land, Humble, and later Sunnyside, and several times at churches where Carter worked, investigators said. The girl said he'd sometimes park behind a grocery store and assault her before he'd take her to school. Why is he taking her to school? Just ooh-wee. He would not have made it to court. I couldn't have been this girl's parent. I couldn't have done it. He also showed her pornography on his phone, she said. When the victim was 16 years old, she secretly had Carter's baby, according to court documents. She gave birth in a closet, and Carter took the baby to a firehouse and left it. Let me show you guys that picture. This is allegedly the baby that was left, and I cut the firefighter's face out because I didn't want that to be misconstrued with him in this story. But that's a picture of the baby that they believe that was dropped off, that I think has now been adopted out or something like that. And I think the family's trying to fight for custody or something. It's really, really weird. She says she kept her pregnancy a secret by wearing baggy clothes. If you care about your child, how do you miss that? There is no way in God's green earth if my daughter was pregnant, I wouldn't know about it. I would absolutely know that. How are you not paying attention to your just, ooh. We say in the South, It's like you're saying something without saying nothing. Ain't no way. We learned in court Tuesday that the baby has since been adopted, and a DNA test will be done to determine if Carter is the father, which will confirm all of this. And that will be completely undeniable. He asks, how did she secretly have a baby? Her parents didn't know that she was pregnant. That's what I'm asking. I don't know how that's even missed, bro. I don't know. That's why I think the parents need to be arrested and charged too. This is insane. According to court documents, when the victim tried to say no, Carter threatened her. If you don't do this, I promise you're going to regret it, and I'm going to make your life a living hell. And this is allegedly coming from a pastor. Go figure. Court documents said that some of the assaults happened when Carter was an employee at Greater Bible Way Church. He is currently listed online as a senior pastor of a sanctuary church of Jesus Christ in downtown Houston. Carter has also worked in hospice care for decades. The judge agreed with prosecutors to request to keep Carter's bond at $200,000. If he bonds out, the judge ordered him to stay away from schools, parks, and any place where children might be. Where else is it possible that children might be? If you don't know, it's kind of a pop quiz. Children could possibly also be at church. So guess what he asked the judge? And I can actually play that video for you so you can hear. He actually had the unmitigated gall, like Stephen A. Smith would say, and he asked, does that also prohibit me from going to church? Again, I'm talking about the mentality of a child predator. That does not change. It cannot be rehabilitated. It needs to be punished. And these people need to be locked away for life. Because they stand, if they ever get out of prison, they stand to get out and abuse more children. That's just what they do. Carter also has a 14-year-old son, but he will only be allowed to see him during supervised visits, which I wouldn't even allow that. When he learned of the charges, he turned himself in so he can clear his name. Defense attorney Eric Davis said after the hearing, and we'd ask that before there's a trial that he can be presumed innocent. No, and I say no, and I say no, because he wants a fair trial. Let that DNA test come out and find out that he's got a tie to that child. Throw all of that out the window. Let me give you guys the fair usage before I end up losing my mind and cussing through this whole stream. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. If you guys can do me a favor and please click that thumbs up. And one would have to ask, where was this little girl's Bupak Shakur, a.k.a. Mr. Lee? Where was her Bupak Shakur that catches child predators? It could have been her mother and her father. Why weren't they there for her, to protect her? That they know this was going on, they would have to. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, leave a comment. We want to have one thumb up for everybody watching, please. Let's listen at these news videos.
And bond has been set for a Houston area pastor accused of raping a child for years and eventually impregnating her.
39-year-old Robert Carter turned himself into authorities early this morning after a warrant was issued for his arrest. Michelle Choi joins us live from probable cause court with the very disturbing allegations here. Michelle.
Yeah, Mia, disturbing and heartbreaking. I'm told the victim is a family member, and according to court documents, the abuse began when she was just 7 years old. We have to warn you, some of the details are graphic. Just hours after turning himself in, Robert Carter faced a judge in probable cause court.
Mr. Carter, you are here because of 2 warrants that were issued for your arrest.
Carter is charged with continuous sexual abuse of a child and sexual assault of a child. His total bond set at $200,000.
And the victim in this case alleges that she was sexually abused from the age of 7, did not conclude until the age of 19, with the sexual encounters occurring hundreds of times.
Court docs allege Carter told the victim, "No one will believe you, and if you do tell, I'll tell them that you came to me and did this." It goes on to say the abuse happened at least 600 times, taking place at Carter's home, in a grocery store parking lot, and at churches, including at the Greater Bible Way Church in Sunnyside, where court documents state Carter worked. We stopped by that address earlier today, and the building there appeared to be abandoned. The charges also state the victim secretly had Carter's baby in a closet when she was 16 years old, and Carter took the baby to a firehouse. According to Houston area activist Candace Matthews, she says Carter has been a longtime bishop and pastor. She sent us a statement from the victim's father, who did not want to speak to us on camera, but said in part, quote, "I'm glad the perpetrator is in custody, and we will let the justice system take care of the rest." He also shared his daughter, now an adult, was not planning on getting the child back. As for Carter, who we learned has a 14-year-old son and has also worked in hospice care for nearly 2 decades, bond conditions were set for him, during which he asked the judge this question.
Yes, sir.
And also prevent me from going to church services.
Yeah, if Carter bonds out, for now, he is not allowed near churches, schools, or parks, or anywhere where children gather. He will also need to be supervised if he wants to see his son. His next court date is set for tomorrow morning.
Now to a very disturbing story.
And right now, a Houston area pastor in court. He's accused of raping a girl many times inside his church and eventually impregnating her. We want to warn you, these details are disturbing. 39-year-old Robert Carter turned himself in to Harris County authorities early this morning after a warrant was issued for his arrest last month. He is charged with continuous sexual assault of a child. Court documents say that the rapes began in 2018 when the victim was just 7 years old, lasting until she was 19, and they happened at least 600 times. The documents go on to say that the assaults happened at his home, in a grocery store parking lot, and several times at a church office where Carter worked. The charges state the victim secretly had his baby in a closet when she was 16 years old. Then Carter took the baby to a firehouse. Court documents say Carter used to be a pastor at Greater Bible Way Church. He is currently listed online as a senior pastor of Sanctuary Church of Jesus Christ in downtown Houston. We'll have much more in this disturbing story on our later news.
Here at home today, a Houston area pastor made his first official court appearance. Robert Carter is accused of raping a child hundreds of times for more than a decade.
Our Michelle Choi is at the Harris County Criminal Courthouse with the very latest.
We first told you about the disturbing allegations Robert Carter is facing yesterday. Today, the state requested his $200,000 bond remain in place, and the judge agreed. Handcuffed and wearing an orange jumpsuit, Robert Carter was brought into the courtroom around 10 this morning. The 39-year-old suspect is charged with continuous sexual abuse of a child, a first-degree felony, and continuous sexual assault of a child. He's accused of raping a family member more than 600 times over the course of 12 years, according to prosecutors. They say the abuse began when the victim was 7 years old and lasted until she was 19, and took place at Carter's home, churches he worked at, and a grocery store parking lot. They say the victim secretly gave gave birth to Carter's baby in a closet when she was 16 years old, and Carter dropped the baby off at a fire station in 2018. On that same day, KHOU covered a story about a firefighter finding a baby that was left at a fire station. No word yet if this is the same child. Today in court, we learned the victim's child has since been adopted. The prosecutor in charge of the case tells us DNA testing comes next to determine the paternity. The prosecutor didn't talk to us on camera, but she did confirm Carter is a pastor and the victim's family member. She also gave us a statement saying, "Too often people in positions of power abuse and take advantage of people that trust them. I look forward to allowing the complainant's voice to be heard." We also heard from Carter's attorney.
When he learned of the charges, he turned himself in so he can clear his name. And we'd ask before there is a trial that he be presumed innocent, that people can keep an open mind and hold to him the constitutional presumption of innocence.
Bond conditions were also set for Carter. If he makes bond, in addition to wearing a GPS monitor, he's to have no contact with the victim, and he has to stay away from children, including his own, for now. Back to you.
And I think I would have to agree with you guys in the chat. Y'all are saying that the family shouldn't even get that child back. And I would have to agree. Like, bring that baby back into that family atmosphere for what? To continue to be neglected? And maybe another family member? Just absolutely not. Wherever that child is, I can almost guarantee you, even being in the system, even being adopted out, whoever adopted that baby probably actually adopted that baby because they're just like, you know what, we're going to give this baby an opportunity to grow up and become something great. So I think that that baby is probably best off where they are at. I can't imagine what type of trauma this little girl from age 7 to 17 years old went through this 600 times. Probably needs some heavy counseling. And just, you know, it's just, why would you even want to pray? Why would you even want to go to church? Why would you even want to trust the church and religion or anything like that? And I could totally understand if you would just reject religion at this point, especially after going through this. This person used the cloak of the clergy and the church to sexually assault this child for just an unlimited amount of times. And I'm telling you, if that DNA test comes back, and I hope that they do it quick, get us that information back quick. If y'all find out before I post my next video that he is indeed the father, send it back to me. Send it to Maury. I want to get an expedited answer. So that way I can literally say, here's what it actually is. And all my thoughts and feelings are valid. Okay? But we'll leave that in reserve. Pray for that 17-year-old, damn near adult now. Just no telling how messed up she probably is. To that baby, keep that baby in your prayers and hope that that baby can grow up and be protected and grow up and become something great. But we'll definitely do an update on this story. This ain't the end of this. Houston, we have a problem. Let me know what you guys think.